or component that makes up the Nigerian community adopted this group as a legitimate member of the Nigerian community. The Nigerian community has 4 components.
Charlie, the latest news right now dropping is that the name EZE NDIGBO has also been abolished. So now the Igbo king in Ghana cannot call himself a king, and he cannot also call himself EZE NDIGBO. This latest news came from Nigeria, the traditional rulers in the southeast, which he comes from. That's where the Igbo people are. Their leaders are saying they've abolished that particular name, so he cannot even call himself the EZE NDIGBO. But I have some videos to show you pertaining to that, and also after I will show you another video of them that someone is giving evidence that they abolished this thing 2012 when they decided to install kings and queens or whatever. So let's go into the videos, watch, come back and talk.
Latest update: Southeast traditional rulers abolish EZE NDIGBO title for diaspora leaders. That is to say, moving forward, as an Igbo leader or an Igbo man in diaspora, you can no longer call yourself an Igbo king. So the Southeast traditional rulers have just released a statement according to this publication by Instablog. And it reads, Southeast Council of Traditional Rulers has officially abolished the use of the title EZE NDIGBO by Igbo leaders living outside Igbo land. In a communique obtained by Sahara reporters, the council announced the introduction of a new title, EZE NDIGBO, for leaders in the diaspora and abroad. The statement was signed by key monarchs including Eze Isi Okeke Eze Imo and Igwe Nnaemeka Achebe, who chairs the council. The decision, they said, aims to preserve the sanctity of the Eze title, which is traditionally reserved for enthroned rulers with ancestral authority over defined kingdom or community in Igbo land. If you never hear that line well. So you cannot call yourself EZE NDIGBO outside Igbo land. Kudos to the Southeast traditional rulers who have deemed it fit to come into this matter ASAP.
So this is the report coming from Nigeria right now. EZE NDIGBO has been abolished. And let me take you to this video of a man who is part of the leaders of Nigerians in Ghana. He is also saying that this particular thing, they dissociated themselves from this particular kingship thing since 2012. So clearly, it seems like this man and his cohort were just doing this by themselves, by force. Let's go into the video.
Where I ran into a video where a certain Mr. Iwe of Iwe Next TV was accusing other elements, other Nigerians, of being behind the issue of Igbo King in Ghana. I saw that to be very offensive. I saw that to be malicious. I saw that to be against the rule of cohesiveness. And as a matter of fact, there is a need for me to speak to this issue. My name is Mark. I was the secretary assistant, and at the point I became the secretary to the Arewa community in Ghana, one of the arms that makes up the Nigerian community in Ghana at specific time, which has to do with the period of from 2011, 2010 to 11 upwards. And this particular time was when a lot of crisis happened in Ghana concerning the Nigerian community. When I say Nigerian community, concerning the Igbo kingship tussle in Ghana. This was the very specific time when some of these things happened. And he came up with some documented evidence trying to prove how the traditional council came up with a press release, a press statement denying or denouncing, not recognizing any chief, but went further to pick up other documents in trying to justify the fact that the chief had been at some point inducted into the traditional council. For want of time, I might not really play some of these videos, but I am going to be setting the record straight this afternoon. Like I said again, I am the secretary. I was the secretary to the Arewa community at a specific time in the Nigerian community in Ghana. And many of the message this young man, Mr. Iwet of Iwet TV, has put out here, they are false. Very, very malicious, and they are false. First of all, I want to debunk the fact that he said there is an Igbo king in Ghana. I am standing on all authority to say yes, there was never an Igbo king in Ghana. And ask me why. The premise to my assertion is this. In the year 2011, there have been crises within the Igbo community in Ghana, right? During the formation of the Nigerian community. A certain section of persons stood up and said they are the Igbo community. They wanted to go form Igbo community. And before then, the Nigerian community has been sitting. We've been having meetings just prior to that time. Then in 2011, there was a cogent, a legitimate registration of Igbo community by the Registrar General in Accra. Certified. This is gazetted. This is in, if you go to Accra today, this document is there at the Registrar General. Upon the issue reaching to the Nigerian community, where I was an integral part of the council, these issues were raised. And we said, okay, let's objectively deal with this issue. We tried to bring everybody together on from the Igbo side and make them understand that they are one. What's the need for this fashion? They wouldn't listen. And the remaining community decided that the only justification for us to admit any of them as a member of the Nigerian community, which is the umbrella body of Nigerians living in Ghana, recognized by the Nigerian High Commission and the Nigerian government back in Nigeria, we would only use legitimate documents certified by the Ghana government, to which we are under the authority at the time, as a basis for admittance of anyone into the Nigerian community. And these said people went and brought this said document. And the remaining member of the Nigerian community, or component that makes up the Nigerian community, adopted this group as a legitimate member of the Nigerian community. The Nigerian community has 4 components, which is the Arewa community, the South-South community, the Igbo community, and the Yoruba community. Those are the components that makes up the Nigerian community. And the Nigerian High Commission deals directly with the Nigerian community, being the umbrella body of Nigerians living in Ghana. Are you getting it? Now, when the issue of chieftaincy beginning to raise its ugly head, the Igbo community stood firmly against this particular idea by some element within the Igbo community wanting to be crowned king of Igbos in Ghana. The elders saw this years back, which some of us didn't see. They went vehemently against the idea by these few individuals wanting to be kings of Igbo in Ghana. They told them that I was always in most of the meetings as the secretary to my community. They told them that we have come to Ghana to do our business, and we are not in Ghana to set up kingdoms. For those of you who want to set up palaces and become kings and all of that, if you want to do that, return back to Nigeria and do this. This is even against sections of the Ghanaian law for a foreigner to come into Ghana, and wants to be king. So they went to court, tried to put injunctions on some of their coronations, but these men wouldn't listen. They still maneuver their ways and find ways to go and do this thing. Let me read the public notice that was sent by the Igbo community to the general public in Ghana as at that time in the year 2012. Listen to what the public, I don't know if you can capture this, please, briefly. Capture it. I really want to set the record straight so that the world would hear and understand the exact truth behind this thing. A lot of people are accusing Igbos wrongfully, whereas a lot of Igbos the Igbo community in Ghana did not even support the chieftaincy thing that you are hearing today. Let me read through briefly. The office of the leadership and entire membership of the Igbo community in Ghana wishes to inform the general public that it disassociates itself from Mr. 𝙏𝙼𝙖𝙑, who has crowned himself as EZE NDIGBO in Ghana and will outdoor himself from the 14th to the 16th of September 2012, and one Mr. Mesa Godfrey Mokwoko, who is also going to crown himself as EZE NDIGBO of Nigerian community in Ghana on the 9th of September 2012 at Kamma Conference Center in Accra. This is an unlawful self-proclamation imposition of the high office of EZE NDIGBO. Their pictures beneath. And the statement continue. We state with great emphasis that the above mentioned persons is operating discreetly and without the knowledge, legal and moral mandate from the very people they seek to lead. Their actions hold national tension, confusion and chaos in the country, since their action runs counter to the rules and regulations of the Igbo community in Ghana. The statement continues. We, the leadership of the Igbo community in Ghana, hereby recommend the intervention of the Ghana Police, Security and the Ministry of Chieftaincy to quickly arrest the situation before it breaks into a national mutiny among Nigerians across the country, thereby adding up to the already chieftaincy issues in Accra and also disturbing the peace and tranquility of the country as election approaches in December. This was in 2012. The Igbo community had gone vehemently against the attitude of these said people in Ghana. Now, I'll read a public notice for us again from the Igbo community at some point in the same Ghana. Let me just run through another public notice. Now, what this public notice is saying is that he said, sorry, I can't print all. He said, the attention of the Igbo community, an affiliate of the Nigerian community, Ghana, has been drawn to a recent development which clearly indicates that some group of individuals are still forcibly parading themselves as members and kings of our community, despite the following. Listen to what the following were. Despite the following. A. Publication on daily graphics of Thursday, 23rd December 2014, which warned against those not connected to our community parading themselves as members and kings of Igbos in Ghana. 2. Our publication on daily graphics of February 20th, 2019, which states no king in Igbo community Ghana and warned against outsiders parading themselves as our members and king as such do not exist in our community. 3. Court judgment in suit number G1/1323/217 on the 28th September 2017, which among other declaration affirm our registration and full ownership control of the Igbo community in Ghana, etc., etc., etc. I can go on and on and on to see how the Igbos have warned against these people standing up as calling themselves as king. For you, Mr. Iwes, coming to accuse other members of the Nigerian community of being behind this, not wanting or wants to sow seed of discord among the Igbos in Ghana, I would urge you to retract that statement. There is never an Igbo king in Ghana. The Nigerian community has always dealt with the legitimate Igbo community, which is this that is recognized. All of those parading themselves as Igbo community should just stop doing that and stop denting the image of Nigerian communities in Ghana. You should not have dragged any other community into this. We would have kept mute and allowed you to fight your fight. Now you are dragging and calling that it is the other communities that are behind this because they don't want the progress of Igbo. What kind of statement? That is hate speech. Let me quote what your own person says the other day. That is what you call hate speech, and that is what you have said. Now you are maligning and trying to tag other communities, the Nigerian community members, as being evil, whereas it is not the true situation. The Igbo community themselves have condemned this kingship thing over the years, but some people, out of their own selfish parochial interest, who still went on and crowned themselves king. And today, the whole thing is coming out. We were not the one who said they have land to sell. The video is everywhere, right? And the people behind it are saying there is nothing like that. This matter is gradually dying and waving aside, and you are still running, trying to accuse us. Please go and do the right thing. Put your home right. Get your record straight. Get your record straight and stop accusing other community members. Thank you.
So this is the whole thing. So meaning they have been doing this, like they are forcing themselves to become kings and queens or whatever in the diaspora, wherever Igbos find themselves. Because I showed you a video some time ago that we have a leader of the Nigerians in Kumasi, and he also said he doesn't know that man. So it's like this guy is doing everything on his own, kind of, and he has the backing of certain people. I don't know what exactly they are trying to do and what their motive is. Right now, all these people have come out to dissociate themselves from all this, and they are telling you that they don't like what you are doing, and yet you are doing it, and you are saying you are the king for Igbos, and so many Igbo people are not in support of this. Why continue? Why? This is one thing I don't understand. Why why continue this thing by force? Why? Do you have any agenda? What do you want to achieve? I feel like right now, no politician, no pastor, no chief, whatever, should accept any invitation of this guy or even invite him to any occasion. I think it should start from there, so that like they will let them know that they don't like what he's doing. You understand? Nobody should invite him anywhere. Nobody should accept his invitation to any place. It should end there. That's all. It should end there. That's all.